Hey there friends and followers, Steve here with eXp Realty. In this next quick video we are going to take a look at closing costs. We're going to take a look at what they are, how they're made up and composed, and what they mean to you as a new purchaser of property here in the area. So stick around for the next couple of minutes as we shed some light on this information together. So yes, as always, thanks for tuning in, checking out the video. Steve here with eXp Realty. Be sure before we get into things, whatever button you got down below, hit the like, subscribe, or follow button to stay up to date and on top of things real estate related here in the Ocala-Marion County area. So essentially, what are closing costs? So closing costs are the $1,000 of fees associated with obtaining a mortgage loan and purchasing a property. Depending on how much you'll pay, usually you can assume closing costs to be between 2 and 5% of the loan principal. Now, exactly how much you'll pay will depend on a couple of different things, the actual price of the home and the location. There's a couple of groups of items that come together to make up your closing costs upon getting to the closing table and finalizing your transaction. To give some examples of what those groups are as follows. The first group that makes up your closing costs are any prorations or adjustments. Now, what do I mean by prorations? So the one biggest thing is taxes for the property. So essentially the way it works is the seller will pay a portion of the taxes from when they occupy the residence at the beginning of the year, and of course depending on when that transaction closes, you are then responsible for the taxes therefore after. So again, a proration is created to split that tax amount between each parties. Same rule of thumb goes is if the property is located within like a HOA community where there are homeowners association dues, these too will also be adjusted and prorated, the seller paying their portion and respectively the buyer paying the rest of their portion. Any type of adjustments that may be included are as follows. Maybe there was some sort of concession given by the seller or a repair credit of some sort. This will be reflected. Also, any deposit that you have put down on the property, this will be taken into consideration as well. Now, typically, any deposit that you put down will come back around and factor into your closing costs, lessening the amount out of pocket that you have to bring to the closing table. The next group that's going to make up your closing costs is going to be loan charges to the lending institution. Some examples of these loan charges are as follows. Any type of loan origination fee by your mortgage broker or lender. There's also most likely going to be a funding fee associated with as well. In some cases too, any credit checks that were performed on you throughout the process, you'll see these fees there, as well as sometimes verifications of employment as well. In some cases, you will even see some prepaid interest be factored into this group for your closing costs. And of course, any points that you may have bought from the lender to buy down your interest rate on the loan, that's typically where you'll see these as well. The next group that's going to factor into your closing costs are impound accounts. Now, what I mean by these are accounts that are set up to help with your homeowner's insurance and property taxes. Essentially, these accounts are set up with a new home loan, and basically what they do is when you make a mortgage payment, a small portion will go from your mortgage payment into these accounts that houses your homeowner's insurance and the property taxes, which collectively adds up over the course of a year, and then these accounts disperse these payments, knocking out both your property taxes and your homeowner's insurance. The next group on the table that will factor into your closing costs are any title charges and escrow or settlement charges as well. Some of these fees you're going to see are title closing fees, any type of document preparation, any type of title searches done on the property, as well as any notary that was used to help sign off on any documents used in the closing process. The next group that you are going to see factor into your closing costs are any government recordings and transfer charges. Now, what I mean by these is anytime that you buy a piece of property, there's going to be certain recordings that have to be filed through the circuit court in the county in which the property is located. They're going to record the deed, they're going to record the mortgage. These all have fees associated with them, which again will factor into your closing costs. Another thing that will add in is the land transfer taxes that are associated with the property transfer from seller to buyer as well. Now, you may encounter some additional or miscellaneous charges charges associated with your closing costs as well. Now, this could be items such as any type of survey, any type of flood certification, any type of appraisal that was done, all depending on you know, how your loan is structured, set up, and facilitated. The beautiful thing is this. Now, typically the way it works is you will get a settlement statement prior to closing on a given property, and that it will let you go through and kind of pick apart all the little charges and fees associated with your lump sum of closing costs. At this point, you can review just to make sure it's accurate, or if there's any discrepancy, you can dispute at that time. One huge advantage, if you have the ability to buy a property with cash, you can significantly lessen the closing cost amount, simply because without obtaining a mortgage loan to buy the property, you don't have as many fees and different things associated with that are going to be factored in. A lot of cases you don't need a survey or an appraisal, things of that nature, so you can really kind of get around if you have that ability to purchase in all cash, hence cash being king. So there you go, folks. That is a bit of an overview of how closing costs are created and how they factor into closing up on a given property. As always, if you would like any further information on any of this info covered, feel free to drop a comment, shoot me a message directly. I'd be more than happy to touch base on any detail. So as always, thanks for tuning in, checking out the videos. We'll catch you guys on the next one.